Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan, and this is Get Your Mind Right. So, today I want to talk about pessimistic thinking, negative thinking, and how it really impacts your reality, how it creates your reality, and basically some few tips of how to be able to refocus your thinking when you're going into a very pessimistic, negative state. So I'm going to first start off with the definition of pessimistic. So pessimistic means tending to see the worst aspects of things or believe that the worst will happen. So a lot of us do that, and a lot of times we tend to not use the word pessimistic, but we tend to use the word realism or realistic. So I want to give you the definition of realism. Realistic is more about the truth and objectivity, not necessarily seeing a situation as bad, just seeing it as something to be dealt with. Now, now at this time in life now, I see life more in a realistic way. But in the past, I would see stuff more in a pessimistic way, and I would use the term realistic as of why am I going down the pessimistic path of the thought train, right? So when something negative happens to us, we tend to majority of us tends to overthink the situation. We tend to harp on it. You know, when negative things happen or if something happened towards us or we around a negative situation, sometimes there's no real good positive out of it. But even in those situations where you can't really see the positive, you don't have to harp on it for so long. You don't have to get engulfed in the negative aspect of it. You could spend 1 to 5 minutes of, wow, this person did X, Y, and Z, or damn, I got a ticket and blah blah blah, I gotta pay for it, end deal. The pessimistic way would be, damn, I got this parking ticket. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like the universe is just after me. Damn, what's going to be next? I'm going to get to a car accident. What is, oh my God, I got to pay this ticket. When does it due? If I don't pay it by then, it's going to double up. I don't even have the money right now to do all this. That is pessimistic of just going there. You're not even thinking of it on a reality check of, damn, I got this ticket. I know I should have put extra quarters inside there. Or I'm going to make sure I play it on that day because I don't want this to go up from $50 to $100. Boom. That's how we should be able to live life, but a lot of us don't do it like that, including myself, especially in the past. Now, I'm very much more realistic when things happen where I could put it together and say, I messed up or this happened and I'm going to keep it at where it's at and I'm moving on from it. So what I wanted to give is like instances of pessimistic thinking and how it creates your lifestyle, your life, the outside world. So basically when you start to have a thought, whether it's negative or positive, your subconscious goes to work and it start looking for ways to make these thoughts into reality. When you learn the science behind this, it really makes you want to put the time and energy to thinking more positive or just thinking more in your favor and not so much against yourself. Because like I'm saying, the way that the subconscious is working, it could go for the good thoughts or for the negative thoughts. This part is just all up to you of how you want to produce these thoughts. So what I want to talk about is like, the science behind negative thoughts. So basically, when you begin to think, and we're going to talk about it being negative, when it's negative thoughts you begin to think, what happens is your brain scientifically, physically sends out neuron signals, right? And these things then go down to, like if it's stress, negative thoughts, it goes down, your brain signals around and it goes down to your kidney, which then your kidneys then produce cortisol. It goes to your kidneys adrenal glands, and your kidneys produce cortisol. And I don't know if you ever did research that talk about stress. You could see the cortisol in people's spit. So then once that cortisol is produced, it's physically inside your body, right? And it's feeding into your body, right? This is all physical. You can look it up. It's real. You're creating now addiction inside your body with that. No different if it was a drug addict. You know, it lights up things for you that normally your body would do on its own when you do something to achieve that type of light up or that type of happiness. The drug is now doing it for you. Same thing with the negative thoughts. It's creating physical ways inside of you to now produce for you to be addicted to this train of thoughts, train ways of thinking. So we can say to ourselves, well, I would just think positive. The thing is, this is something that blew me away when I found out about this. Do you know your negative thoughts have more power than your positive thoughts? So when you go into negative thinking, the emotion, the feeling behind it is much more stronger than when you think positive. Now, I've even tried this before. Like, I started thinking of how I wanted to cut somebody out, right, from my past. And man, I was in there with them thoughts. They was heavy. And I caught myself. I said, damn, Ryan, you are going back down memory lane for no reason. You wouldn't even want to speak to the person if they contacted you today for you to be able to release these comments to them. You wouldn't even want to do it. So I said, okay, let me think positive. So I started thinking about, like, you know, a higher income, working, things like that. And can I tell you, those thoughts only last about 2 minutes, and then I was going right back to the negativity. And I was noticing me doing it because this was around the time I learned that the negative thoughts have more physical reaction in your body than the positive ones. So when I felt that and actually was examining it from myself and watching myself, I'm like, wow, this is really the truth, because your body is getting a kick out of all this. So once I realized that, and once I did the test to see how it really does work in me, I'm like, oh my God, creating these positive thoughts is not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be easy. You can have them, but you're going to have to learn to hold on to them. So another thing is why positive thoughts don't create so much of that big physical reaction is because the positive emotions tells us everything is fine. So there's no need to think about them. So you notice how, like, you know, you meet a woman or you meet a man, you're like, damn, you got everything going on. Where's your spouse at? And then they start telling you stories and you're like, damn, this person got, like, you know, woe is me. Every story they're talking about, it's a mess. And it's probably because they money, they housing, they family relationships, all that is cool. So they don't have to sit up there and put the more effort back into that. But the romantic part isn't. So they're harping on the romantic part. They're focused so much on it. And you're thinking of how to avoid getting played. They're thinking of how not to get hurt. So you're thinking constantly, you may be thinking, you're thinking realistic, but at the same time, is it pessimistic? I mean, how many thoughts do you need to have of setting boundaries, right? You shouldn't spend every moment when you think of a romantic relationship, how you're going to avoid getting played. That's hecka pessimistic to be in that mind frame, and then telling yourself, well, I'm only thinking realistically. I was also doing more research, and, you know, we're supposed to have 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. Surprisingly, 80% of that is negative thoughts. And 95% were exactly the same thoughts as the day before. Now that I have actually sat back and watched myself with and said to myself, damn, I noticed that when I go to a specific website, I go into romance thoughts. I just think of romance. I think of not even positive romance. I just think of how I'm not going to get played. So that's why I'm saying to you guys that, you know, they may have other things in order, but maybe they've been hurt so before in the past romantically. So when they do think of a romantic relationship, they're constantly thinking of how they are not going to get hurt, how they're not going to do this. And that just, it doesn't do anything. It just creates more of the same things over and over and over within yourself. So the thing is, like, why do we need to be alert of the negative thoughts, or why does this matter? Is because, what's so amazing about us human beings is that each thing that we have in us was once purposeful in life. So back in caveman days, your mind had to be harped on the negativity because you had so much out of your control around you that you had to be on alert for stuff like that. Now in 2021, we don't have some of those bigger triggers that were back then that would have us on alert like that. Right? So we don't need that in our bodies or in our systems anymore to survive. I want to give, some quick examples of just like, the pessimistic thinking. So say, for instance, you got a family member that always say something stupid to you, right? And there's about to be a big family event, and that family is going to be there. The event is in a week. You spend that entire week before the event just thinking about that family member. You're just thinking about it, constantly thinking about what you're going to cuss them out, yada, 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 yada. Now, they already showed you that they're ignorant, they don't have no respect. So that's all you have based from them. So it makes sense of why you're just thinking of the negativity of them. That makes totally enough sense. But you can change that. You really can start to think of, you know what? We're going to this family event, such and such going to be there. I'm going to think of this person actually even compliment me. Or I'm not going to sit up here and harp on this person at all. I'm going to say, Tammy Sue going to be at the event today. I ain't got time for her, and leave it at that. You could become indifferent, or you could become where you think more positive of that person. And then, surprisingly, your subconscious will make that happen. It really will. No different when you see a car, a fantasy car that you want, and subconsciously you start seeing your subconscious start making that thing happen where you see that car. You go out with a guy, or you have a friend that has a specific car. I know I was seeing a guy one time, and he was like, Brian, I keep seeing these white cars like you, right? And it's because he wanted something similar to that. And on top of, I was one of the people that was saying to him, watch when you get this car, you're going to be feeling yourself. All the women going to be on you. So that's what he kept seeing. I'm not sure if he eventually got him one or what, but that's a small instance of me saying, how your subconscious is searching for ways to make those thoughts into a reality. So what happens when you get like addicted to the pessimistic thought patterns and things like that? You got to first start realizing, what you have to be aware of is what are you physically doing in the midst of those negative thoughts arising? So like I said earlier, a certain website gets me in the thoughts of, if I'm in a relationship, how I'm going to avoid being played. If I don't go to that website, I don't think of romantic relationships, nowhere in a negative light. I honestly think of them in so much in a positive light that I'm like, oh, I probably need to save those type of talks for people that's married or something, because I'm very much of a partner person if you're in a relationship. It makes no sense to me to not think of what the two of you could do than just one. So I'm very, very partnerified. Like that's really how I am when I'm in a relationship, and when I talk to people about relationships. I'm very much like, if you was to ask my friends, they will always say that if my friend is about to go on a trip, I say, what about your husband or your boyfriend? They come with us out to eat. It's not a big deal to me. I'm very much respectful of, if someone's in a relationship, if they partner want to join us, it's no big deal. So be aware of what are you physically doing that's helping you with the addiction of negativity. Something else I noticed with the negative thinking, it could be, so I think I'll say this, me being back in school. Now, 2 years ago, I used to have a habit of not looking at my homework until the day it was due. when they would give the homework a week in advance. And for that whole week, I would sit up there and think to myself, how this teacher probably gave us a bunch of stuff that I don't really need to do, but I gotta do it. And how I was about to take up my whole Sunday, so I better not have no plans Saturday night so I don't be too messed up to do my work Sunday. When I finally started learning about what procrastination is, I thought about it all to myself of, why are you procrastinating when it's time to do this? Then I start thinking about the addiction to me procrastinating, the physical rise that I'm getting, in my body that's making me say to myself, no, don't do it Monday when she issued it. Wait till Sunday so we can feel those crazy feelings again because we're so addicted to it. That's what I mean by being aware of that. So once I finally realized that, Ryan, you're doing your work Sunday where you're not even being like, where you don't even have the happiness or the glow of, wow, I did this essay, I got it done, it's written right. I'm more so at the end of it, finally, I'm done with this. I'm tired of this teacher. She always asks me for stupid stuff. So I'm just pessimistic, negative the whole way. Complete the homework and still, bitchy and mad about it. So, in those instances, once I start realizing what I was doing and realizing the physicalness behind it, that's when I really start making the effort to change. I will see that the homework was announced on Monday. I'll open it up, read what we have to do. And during that course of the week, I'll just start knocking it out. By the time Sunday hit, I'm done with my work by Friday. And if I want to review it and think if it's not good enough, I can redo it. But at least I have that privilege. And on top of that, I really do feel good about myself. I could go out and party with people and hang out and not have to worry that Sunday I have to do this work. So let's talk about the steps of these pessimistic thoughts, how we could transform them and make them more positive or just being indifferent. So we got to first remove the negative thoughts. And that's not going to be a piece of cake, but you do need to be first aware of the negative thoughts that you're having. You need to be aware of what are they. Once you become aware of those thoughts, the first thing I always tell people to do to make the effort to start to change your mind frame and things like that is that when you wake up in the morning, do not automatically grab your phone. Try to get up. If you got to get up at 6:30 and you be to work or whatever, you get up at 6:30 in the morning, try to set the alarm for 6:20. And the reason why I said that is because you just need at least 10 minutes before you actually go live life, start the day, hit your toe from the bed. You need 10 minutes of you just thinking positive of yourself. So right when it's been mornings where I woke up and I literally just went negative thoughts because I thought to myself, God, I got to do this. I have to go sit on my resume. And once I start noticing again, like, Ryan, you're waking up to the BS. You're creating the whole day. I then would do the whole wake up, not grab my phone, but I'll lay there and then I'll think of how I'm going to be applying for jobs that I actually really do want. How I'm going to find these jobs with using the correct keywords. How writing my resume is going to be a piece of cake, right? And then I start actually saying to myself, I deserve a higher paying job. I deserve to delegate at the next position I have. And I kid you not, y'all, I get up and I feel so much better. And when I start working, I feel so much better. And I actually do start seeing the stuff that I was laying down saying, I want to see. Another way you could do it is, get directly up out your bed and look in the mirror and just spend 5 to 10 minutes complimenting yourself. Telling yourself you're beautiful. Telling yourself that you're going to get the work done today. Telling yourself that you are, the work you produce is quality. Telling yourself that your coworkers are going to be happy to see you. Your kids going to be happy to see you. You're happy to see you, right? These small things, they start to make you feel better, and that will become your new addiction. You know what I mean? And this stuff isn't going to just wipe all the stuff out, take everything away, but it's going to start making you more aware of what you're thinking. You're going to be like, damn, I just spent 10 minutes complimenting myself. How come right after that I start talking about some BS? Right? You're going to start being aware. You're going to be like, let me stop that. I'm doing too much. So, once you start to think negative, be aware of it and just immediately stop it. Like I'll say, these people ain't gonna want to hire me. They want someone with the, you know what, Ryan? Why are you applying for it? They will hire you if you apply for it. Why would they not hire you? Your resume is perfect. Why would they not hire you? Why would they not offer you an interview? Boom, I kid you not, I really be getting this stuff within a week or so. So that's why I can really say this from experience, how that pessimistic thinking could triumph a lot of stuff. And then also, I want to say, to even give props to, or just to recognize it, is that, you know, someone doing something negative towards you, right? It's not always easy to walk away thinking, oh, that person didn't mean it, won't. But you don't have to go into pessimistic thinking of saying, this person hate me, this person and then from that person you're going into the mode of, people hate me, people do this, people do that. So be aware that yes, there are some negative stuff coming at you, and yes, it does make sense for you to be upset about it, but there's no need for you to get engulfed into it and start replicating and hardening and creating more of that pessimistic stuff that person did into your world. Another thing is start being aware of your habits. Like I was saying earlier, I'm noticing that a certain website caused my negative thoughts towards romance, right? I noticed that if I drink coffee with too much cream in it, you know, I get irritated. You know, I want stuff faster. If the computer don't move fast enough, I get aggravated. One mistake, I'm like, ah! So I know my habits now. Here's my cup of coffee. I've only had 2 cups of coffee this week. So my limit is 2 cups of coffee a week. And when I drink it, either I need to go somewhere else to make it, or I need to really tell myself I'm only having 1 cup at home with a little bit of cream. Because I know once I get on one, I get the tripping, I get the needing stuff instantly, and then I'm on one. And then my whole day is ruined because I'm tweaking off of this coffee. So be aware of your habits. Biggest thing, notice the positive. I just applied for school to get my BA, right? I did my admissions essay 3 days before it was due. Ain't that something to be proud about? But no, let me tell you what I do. That day I do my admissions essay, turn it in. Later on that day, I'm actually happy. I'm like, damn, Ryan, you really did it. You handled that. What did I end up doing that threw me off? Oh, a job that I'm applying for sent me something about they needed this information, and it ruined everything. Everything that I worked for, I was pissed off because of this job thing. I think as I was looking for the document they wanted, I was like, F this, I'm so irritated. And I stopped, I said, oh my God, you just did your essay and you completed it 3 days earlier for your BA to get it admissions. What are you bitching about now? Stop. And I stopped. I sat down, I said, I don't give a damn about this job if I get it or not. You know, I'm about to get my BA and I'm going to be open to even more bigger stuff. And not even just that, there's other places that's hiring that's going to pay me just as much or even better that I could get into. I kid you not, I got up. I sent the people their paperwork. I said, this is all I have and this is all I can give you. If you want anything else, I don't know what more to say. Got on LinkedIn, start looking for more jobs, sent out a resume. They called me today. I said, whew. So this is, I'm telling y'all, it's so serious. You can do it with love. You can do it with jobs. You can do it with money. You can do it with friends. It's real. It's really real of controlling those pessimistic thoughts and making them either indifferent or positive and seeing a whole different type of outcome. So another thing I want to say is celebrate your small wins. You know, if it was you had a plan on coming home, cooking dinner, washing dishes, you wash the dishes, you about to cook, celebrate that. Pour your little glass of wine. Whew, got them dishes out the way, about to cook. You know, it's small, but I'm telling you, you get these little highs, and then you wonder why you meet some people who walk around happy-go-lucky, and it's like a real legit happy-go-lucky because they actually stop and smell the roses for everything. So my final words to everybody is that to always remember that your thoughts are always creating your reality. You really do have the power to change that. Yes, you have people who do act very negative towards you. Yes, you have people who may have said some really disgusting things towards you, but you have a choice. You have three. Either you don't I think you got four. You don't associate with them no more. You always think negative when you think about them, which is going to in turn create more pessimistic and negative thoughts between you two. Three, you think about cussing them the hell out, and after that they leave you alone. Or four, you think about them complimenting you and maybe even saying, hey, I'm sorry, I always say stupid stuff to you, I just want to say sorry. You got four choices. You pick it and you go with it, and you see the end result, and you'll actually see what I'm saying. I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and really make the effort in changing those pessimistic thoughts to either positive or just being indifferent. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you guys soon. Mwah!